In 1938, Life magazine asked Frank Lloyd Wright to design a dream home for the Blackburns of Minneapolis. Wright, then 71, was as well known for his radical architecture as his personal life. After the article was published, the Blackburns chose a more traditional style for their home. Fern and Bernard Schwartz of Two Rivers, Wisconsin, asked Wright to build them the dream home. Wright called the one-acre property, which backs onto the East Twin River, Still Bend.
As soon as we stepped through the front door, the whole house opened before us. The vista reaches 20 meters back through the foyer, the main room and den, to the back wall. The southern wall of the main room is all windows. Natural light invades the room with warmth. The red cement floor, the red brick and cypress wood reinforce the warm tones. The house has little appeal from the street, but from the backyard the whole house seems open and inviting. The floor-to-ceiling windows were originally doors, enabling the entire main floor to open to the patio.
After reading Loving Frank, a friend suggested that we could actually rent and stay in a Frank Lloyd Wright home. I knew a little of Frank Lloyd from an exhibit we had seen at the Guggenheim years ago.
After reading about Wright and visiting some of the Wright sites in Buffalo, I could see that in spite of the reverence accorded to Wright, his design principles have not been widely adopted. Observing the details of his design and understanding how they affected us became our assignment. The centerpiece of the main floor is a dual fireplace, one for the living area, one for the den, although there is really no division between the two spaces. We felt the immediate need to start a fire, and at that moment I knew that Wright had taken over and we were following his instructions.
When I knew that I was coming to the Schwartz House, I really wanted to have my first impressions of the building, and I didn't want to know much about it before. And I think the most interesting thing to me is that the house doesn't follow a tight grid. They've been given a human form. Just take one little element of the house, which is this stairway. Two walls either side, but what the details are tell the story. So the wood wraps around a little bit instead of just ending, and then it carries into the brick with the rest of the way. And with this pillar sticking out a little further, you get a flow heading out in this direction. But then if you were to look up, you see that then the ceiling actually, the overhang cuts in and comes around the other way. So there's flows in both directions of space heading through.
Wright's dream home is laid out as a T. The lower floor, including the main room, kitchen, and dining room, is the stem. The second floor, containing 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, is the crossbar. The house is built on a paved concrete mat and heated with warm water pipes in the gravel underneath. The master bedroom with ensuite is not on the concrete mat, and although evident in the plans, feels like an addition. There is no basement.
I'd never been in a Frank Lloyd Wright house, so this was a new experience for me. I was familiar with the idea that he had a close attention to detail, and two of the things that caught my eye were the use of a piano hinge on all the interior doors, which is quite extraordinary, and the screws for the board and batten interior construction are all straight head screws, and they're all aligned up.
We'd read that Wright retained a key to access the properties he built. He would drop by and rearrange the furniture back to his liking. Inadvertently, we too found the need to rearrange. Although the sofas and chairs were placed near the fireplace, this position made it hard to read. We moved them back under the compression, where the overhead lighting fixtures were. Referencing the 1939 photos, we were intrigued to see this was their original position.
Over the last couple of days after being here, one of the things I was thinking about was the interplay of light and dark. Frank Lloyd Wright wanted to bring the outside inside, and in order to accomplish that, of course, there are a lot of windows. People were running around because they were saying, no, you have to come up to the bedroom because it's totally different now that the light is completely in this space.
The Schwartz family sold the house in 1971. The current owners bought it in 2003 and have lovingly restored it. They are graciously making it available for rental.